All right, guys, next video coming at you. We're going to talk about now how to find the volume of pyramids. So the volume is just the space on the inside. So how do you calculate how much space is on the inside of a pyramid? And so they do give us a formula. So we're going to just start by walking through what that looks like. So if we're working on pyramids, our volume formula is 1/3 times the area of the base. So this guy is the area of the base. So that shaded part in our diagram up here, so this area, times the height, and again, the height is from the apex down to the center of the base, and it hits at a 90-degree angle. So that's all you need is you need area of the base, and then the height of your pyramid. And then you just divide by 3, and you got your volume. And then remember, when we're doing volume, that's in whatever our units are cubed. Okay, so we're gonna do the volume of this first one, and it looks like we have everything that we need. So let's just start by finding the area of the base, and then we're gonna plug it into that formula. So always start by finding area of your base, just because if you get weird bases, they could be a little different. So area of our base in this one is 10 times 11, so 110 inches squared. All right, and then to get volume, we just do 1/3 times the area of that base times the height, and they do give us the height. So from the apex down, that height is 16, so we're gonna multiply this by 16. So when I'm plugging this in my calculator, I just do 110 times 16, and then I divide that by 3, and then it'll give me my volume. So let's see, we're gonna round to 2 decimal places, so that rounds up to 7. So our volume is gonna be 586.67, and then remember our units are in inches, and then it's cubed because we're working in volume. So that's how you find the volume of that first one, okay? All right, let's do it again. Number 2, it looks like it's the same thing, but our base is, well, it's still a rectangle. So let's find area of base first. So base equals 21 times 9. So 21 times 9 becomes 189 yards squared. So area of our base is 189 yards squared. And then we're just gonna find the volume. So volume is 1/3 area of the base times your height, and they do give us the height, and this one is 5, so that's our height. Now we just plug it in. So 189 times 5 divided by 3. So then volume for this one is a nice 315 yards cubed. Okay, then they start getting a little more complicated as we move down here. So this one, we don't have the actual height from the apex down to the center of our base. So we have to find that height. And we can do that by creating a right triangle down here that we know different lengths of. So I know that the base of this is a square. So this is a square base pyramid. So if I want to drop down the height to be perfectly in the middle of the square, that means this length has to be half of 14. So the length down here is going to be 7. And then I'm trying to just find the height right here. So now I can just do Pythagorean theorem. So you have height squared plus 7 squared equals, and then it equals our slant height, which is 25 squared. Okay, so I'm going to start by subtracting 7 squared. So height squared equals 25 squared minus 7 squared, and then you just do the square root of all that. So I'm going to plug that in. So square root of 25 squared minus 7 squared. Sorry, there's all kinds of noises going on over here. And then height is 24. So now we just plug it into our volume formula. So volume is going to be 1/3 area of the base. Oh, we forgot to do that, but the area of the base is just going to be 14 times 14, or 14 squared, times your height, and we got that our height was going to be 24. Okay, so let's plug it in. So 14 squared times 24 divided by 3. Okay, so we get our volume is 1,568 perfectly, and then our units are feet cubed. Okay, so now we're going to step away from squares and pyramid, or squares and rectangular base. We're going to go now to triangular based pyramids. So this first one, it has a triangle, and it looks like they give us the base of the triangle and the height of the triangle, because this hits at 90 degrees right here. So let's just start by finding the area of that base. So we're going to do 12 times 7.5 and then cut it in half because it's a triangle. So 12 times 7.5 divided by 2 is 45. So area of our base is going to be 45 millimeters squared. And then they give us the height of our pyramid, so we don't need to worry about that. So now we can just find the volume. So volume is 1/3 area of the base, which was 45, times the height, which is 10. So 45 times 10 is 450. So I'm just going to do 450 divided by 3, and we get 150 is our volume, and then it's in millimeters cubed. Okay? All right, problem number 5 here. Let's see. It looks like we have the height of the pyramid. We have the base of our base, so the triangle that's the base is the base of it. And then we have that this side length is 14. So it looks like what we can do is we can find the height of this. Oh, this is not the base of the base. So this base is a right triangle. So it actually looks like this is the base of our triangle base, and then this is the height. So what we need to find the area of the base is this length right here, which is our height. So we can do the Pythagorean theorem of this triangle right here on the bottom to find this height. So I'm going to do 14 squared plus height squared equals, and then I know this is my hypotenuse because it's across from the 90, so 22.1 squared. All right, and I'm just going to solve for it. So subtract 14 squared from both sides. So we got height squared is 22.1 squared minus 14 squared, and then again, you just take the square root. We're going to plug that in. So square root of 22.1 squared minus 14 squared. And we get that that's 17.1. Okay, so now when we're gonna do this, let's see, we just need to now find the area of that base, right? So let's find the area of this base down here. That was terrible, but you guys get the gist. So big B is area of the base. So let's see, we're gonna do 14 times 17.1, because that's your base and your height of the triangle. So 14 times 17.1, and then we're gonna divide that by 2. Okay, so this area of your base becomes 119.7, and then we're in meters squared, at least for the area of the base. And then we just want to find the volume now. So we have all the information. So we've got volume equals 1/3 area of the base, which is 119.7, times your height of your pyramid, and the height of the pyramid was 19. So we're just going to plug all that in. So 119.7 times 19 divided by 3. So we get volume is 758.1 meters cubed. Okay, now we're down to this very last one. So let's see the information they give us. So it looks like this base is an equilateral triangle because all of our sides are 10. And then we have a height of a pyramid of being 16. So it looks like the only thing we need is to find the area of the base. We need the height of this triangle. So let's draw what we have. So we have an equilateral triangle where all side lengths are 10. And I want to find the height that drops down at 90 degrees. So if they're all equilateral, I know that this side would be 5. And then I also know that all of the original angles would be 60. So if I cut it in half, this top angle is 30. This one's 90, so then this has to be 60. So it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So I know the side across from 30 is going to be 5. The side across from the 90 is going to be double that, which makes our height 5 square roots of 3. So the height inside of here is going to be 5 square roots of 3. So let's use that to find the area of the base. So we've got the base is 10 times the height, which is 5 square roots of 3, and then we're going to divide that by 2. So the way that we do this is we do 10 times 5, which is 50. We leave the square root of 3 alone. So 50, and then divided by 2, this is going to be 25 square roots of 3 centimeters squared is what our area of our base is, okay? And then the last thing we have to do is just find the volume. So we know the height is 16, so we just plug it into our formula. So volume is going to be 1/3 area of the base, so 25 square roots of 3, times the height, which is 16. Now, remember when we do these problems, I like you to leave them exact. So we're going to leave it with the square root of 3. And so this is going to be 25 times 16 divided by 3, so leaving the square root of 3 out of there. So this is this is kind of ugly. So it ends up being, if we wanted to, I can't even do it exact because that decimal's not nice, but it would be 133.33 about square roots of 3 centimeters cubed. So since that's so ugly, let's just multiply the square root of 3 in there. So take this answer times the square root of 3. And then we can get that the total volume is about 230.94 centimeters cubed. So I'll tell you guys if I want you to leave it exact, and if I want you to leave it exact, it won't be that ugly because this didn't round nicely, okay? I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are able to find the volume of pyramids at this point so you can now work on the practice problems that are about this. And then as always, please reach out if you guys need help with anything or if anything doesn't make sense.